Never gets old.
I was hearing that music on the way home from Origin the other night.
Quite out,
Someone
really.
had got to the blues behind the screen.
Correct. The mafia.
Never trust a Queenslander.
Alrighty, so back by popular demand to set this discussion up, my special ladder that moves from round 12 all the way to now, Gus.
It's got so many buys in it.
Keep your eye on the Panthers. 17th, round 12. Here they come, jumping up to 14th. The Roosters are worth a look here too, by the way, in 12th. There you go, Panthers 13th, Roosters up to 10. And now, bang, just outside the 8. We're only up to round 15 here. Keep in mind, all of a sudden they're in the 8 after 16 rounds. Origin's happening all around this. They keep on charging into 7th. And on the back of round 18, slip up to 6. And that right now is where they stay after their victory over the Parramatta Eels yesterday at CommBank Stadium. Can it be so that the Penrith Panthers can move from last to 6th and suddenly look like they could win the premiership, Gus?
Not only can it be so, we predicted it. We've actually said all along. It's just a matter if they can put a few games back to back. They've won 5 in a row now. You leapfrog a lot of teams in this competition. On the other side of that, I've said several times that as games are played during the year, different games that I see played by some of the top sides, I kind of rate the games leading towards what it would look like in finals time if they were there. They're probably 3 of the top 8 or 9 performances I've seen this year. 3 Panthers performances in what they produced this year. So when they get it right, they're extremely hard to beat, particularly in this competition. And if they can get to the finals, then they're all going to be looking over their shoulder at them because they can play finals football. There's no risk in the world.
They'll play finals. I reckon there's a possibility of finishing in the top 4.
Boy.
Big possibility. Well, Brayshaw, like, you look at their next 4. I'll read out their next 4 rounds because you like ladders.
Oh, I love it. I love what's
prediction.
to come and what we're seeing.
So they've got Souths, right? They've got Tigers, Titans and Knights. That's the next 4. So they could possibly win 9 straight. Now, when you hear Ivan talk about positioning yourself in this competition and timing your run and whatnot, it's all about producing wins or consecutive wins. If you have a clump of them, you're going to be in the top end of the competition.
I think it's the way they're playing too. Remember the start of the year, the basic fundamental errors they're making at the start of the year was embarrassing for them. Like, you saw some of the footage there, Cleary just dropping balls and missing tackles and just being undisciplined, which are things we never associated with the Panthers at all the past 4 or 5 years. When you look at their game on the weekend, they played semi-final football, had a high completion rate, just got to their kick, just ground the other side of the ground. And that's the way they've won their past 4 premierships in a row. So they keep playing that type of footy. Look, you'd be brave to tip against them. This competition is amazing, though. You win 4 or 5 games in a row, and look where you are. You're well and truly up towards that 4.
Well, they'll win 9. I'm telling you right now, they'll win 9 in a row. Then they've got Storm. I think they face Storm. They've got 3 tough weeks. Storm, Raiders, and I think your mob.
Dog.
I think the Dog. And then they finish with a team that's not sitting in the 8 at the moment, but
they've got that odd number.
I'm telling you.
They've got a pretty motivated halfback as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They've got that. They have that draw. Yeah. So they've got that 23, which could go with them or against them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You could almost not excuse their form at the start of the year. That, as Gal said, there were some very basic, some fundamental errors that they were making that very unlike Penrith. But you're talking about a side that has been up for a long time. They played in 5 consecutive grand finals, won the last 4. That's a huge effort to do that because every week that you take the field, Gal, your 2016, everyone's coming for you. So you've got to be at the top of your game every week. They went to Vegas, they'd be tired. They'd be tired. And so they've slowly come through that. They've worked hard at training. The formula was always there. Their game plan and their skill and their talent never left them. But they've just found that right balance now where they're just starting to hum again. And I'll tell you what, I'm telling you, those 4 teams sitting in the top 4 at the moment, they'd be looking over their shoulder big time. Yep.
Knowing what's behind
Great timing.
Well done on the buzzer, as always, Cameron. Topic number 2 here, Laurie Haley's Blues. The clean-up. Gal, what does it look like for the next 11 months?
Hey. The goat and the godfather. Go to them first. Let me chime in. What's it look like? Yeah, look, I mean, look, I love Laurie, and he was probably the greatest Blues player there was, along with, Freddie and Joey. But look, at the end of the day, game 2, they kick 2 goals, they win the game. So that's how close it is.
Well, they win the series.
They win the series, sorry, and that is the game in the series. Game 3, that they didn't perform. We all know that. For whatever reason, we don't know why they didn't turn up. Game 2 was similar. They started the game in game 2. They scored first, and I think they just thought it was going to happen like it did in game 1. It didn't happen, and game 3 was similar. I remember that Liam Martin break down the right-hand side of the field, and they made a break through the middle. Latrell made one on the left-hand side of the field, played 3, kicked the ball on tackle 3. From that point on, it was all downhill for the Blues. So maybe they didn't respect the opposition enough on the field, but look, to go and blame the coach totally, I think it's a little bit harsh. I think they missed that man. I think Mitchell Moses was a huge loss for them after game 1. So, look, it's over for another year, unfortunately. I don't think Laurie Day will get sacked. I think he'll have the job next year. So we can talk about it all we want, but I think he'll have the job next year. And hopefully for him, he goes out and gets the job done.
New South Wales admin have come out and said that he's got the job next year already, haven't they? So he'll be there. And it's hard to point the finger at Laurie and his coaching for the loss of this series, because I think there was some comments made from several New South Wales Blues players after the game 3 actually apologising to the coaching staff for their performance. And at no stage did they question their preparation. They actually said that their preparation was spot on and that they had, for all 3 games, great camp environment. Laurie did a great job. They just didn't aim up in game 3. Simple as that.
At the end of the day, there weren't many rookies in that New South Wales side. I mean, there's a lot of fellas that have had plenty of Origin experience themselves. How much coaching do they need?
No, that's right.
How much coaching or motivation do you need from a coach to play for your best for your state? None of those players should have needed too much coaching at all. In fact, in previous series, what we've heard is they've coached themselves.
Yep.
You know, when they've won, but suddenly they're not coaching themselves when they lose.
Yeah, that's
I've got
right.
no doubt that the players had a giant input into how that game had to be played and what they were going to do. But there was a disconnection amongst them. That was obvious and was broken down by the spirit of Queensland and the way Queensland played that last game. I don't think they got the fundamentals of Origin right in that game. I don't think they saw what the priorities were for Origin football, where Queensland did.
Yep.
Queensland just got better every game, and there's no doubt that New South Wales got worse every game. As Queensland lifted the intensity of Origin and that competitiveness and that physicality, it didn't suit New South Wales. They didn't want that sort of game.
There were 3 moments that stood out to me. That was the difference between the 2 sides. So one was the Harry Grant try, where he really shouldn't have scored that. He went through
never have scored
4 defenders, like at that level. Went through 4 defenders to, score a try for Queensland. Tommy Dearden's first try, so you see Robert Toy getting dragged into touch. Several New South Wales players, they just stopped and thought, well, we're going to put him into touch, play's dead. It's never dead.
Just in case.
Ask us.
Joey always says, just in case. Keep the feet moving, just in case.
And so the Hammer gets the ball, he takes off. Angus Crichton tries to push him across. That's never going to do it at that level. Try to push him into touch. And then all of a sudden, Tommy Dearden races past 4 New South Wales players to score a try. And the last one was when Jerome Luai, I think it was, second half, put a kick into the in goal. Xavier Coates gets the ball. He returns the ball to the 20-metre line. There was 0 chases from New South Wales. Now, that was a story, that Taylor taped throughout the entire game, but they were the 3 that stood out that really explained the difference between the 2 teams.
Yep.
As Gal said, Origin's over. Time to move on. So on to the next topic.
Well, but I just want to say, how much coaching do you need?
No.
When you've been there and you were
Very
experienced, how much coaching do you need?
Yep.
And when they're winning, they talk about how much they coach themselves.
Very little. Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
The players know what's required. They just didn't do it. They didn't do it.
Long 10 months ahead. Kieran Forin calling it quits at season's end, making the announcement over the weekend. Gus, where does he rank for you, the Kiwi?
Early in his career, he was one of my favourite playmakers in the game. I love the fact that he used to take a beating to get a pass away. He was a really physical, committed player, playing with Manly. Loved him at Manly. There wasn't elsewhere that he really excelled, I didn't think, although I think he's done a good job for the Titans. But certainly at Manly in the early days when they had those great sides, he was a big part of that side.
Yeah. He was
one
so
of my
tough.
favourites.
Yeah. He was so tough. I remember playing against him. You'd think this little bloke, you'd give it to him. He was so hard to handle. He just did not stop the entire game. He was absolutely relentless in his attitude. He's a really, really hard trainer. He's got a great mind, a great work ethic. And, he's going to be... I don't think if he lost the game, I reckon he'll be involved somewhere. He's a pretty smart footy brain, but he was such a competitor and, just tough as nails.
Yep, we had a huge rivalry against Manly through those years when Foz was playing at the Seagulls, and I back up what Gus and Gal just said. Like, just an ultimate competitor, played well above his weight. He's like the original version of a Tommy Dearden. Tommy Dearden's the modern day version of Foz at the height of his career.
Tough as nails, attack, defence, killed it. Well done.
Some blokes should just stay at one club, shouldn't they? Like, I wonder what would have happened if he'd spent his career at Manly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would have been vastly different.
Good point, Gus. All right, off the back of the Goodfather Goat with Gal, time for our cash converters. Conversion of the week. Felt good for Nico Hines at Sharp Park on Friday night. Couple of tries, kicking goals, Cam. This would have felt good personally.
It was a bit of a confidence booster for him, wasn't it? He looked to be somewhat like the old Nico Hines that we've seen a few years ago, running the ball, confidence with his kicking, with his passing, scored a couple of tries, which he was up and about with. So, yeah, a bit of a confidence booster for him coming into the back end of the season.
Yeah, exactly what he needed. I'll never forget the game earlier this year. I think at Leichhardt over versus the Tigers, kicked a 40-metre field goal, hit the inside like that much more.
Yep.
Inside, it goes straight through the post, we win the game. Hit the post, dead set bounce 90 degrees almost, and went out. He just has that sort of bad luck. But a game like that on the weekend will give me a lot of confidence, I think. And
up.
Back end of the year, up, baby. Big game this week, though, versus the Roosters.
The Chook.